Hello, and welcome to Beering in Mind Beer Reviews. From today, we're going to start a series of 6 beers from one brewery, and that is one of the most well-known breweries in Japan, among Japanese craft beer breweries. The name of the brewery is Kyuchi, but they're much better known as Hitachino Nest Beer, and they are quite big in Japan and especially outside of Japan. They export a lot. They export to 30 different countries, and for example, in the United States, they're quite well known. When I visit friends in the United States, people often will ask me, "Do you drink that owl beer? This owl beer?" I immediately know they mean Hitachino Nest from Kyuchi. Kyuchi Brewery has been around since 1823 as a sake brewery. They got into beer, as many people did, in the mid-90s, and they started in 1996. They make a variety of things, not just beer. They also produce wine, liqueurs, shochu, and sake, and a variety of spirits as well. Half of the beer production of this brewery goes to the United States. So, as I said, they export to 30 different countries. One interesting aspect of this brewery is that they have a BOP, a brew on premises operation, which is popular in certain areas of the world, but not so much in Japan. I think perhaps for some sort of tax regulations, perhaps. But Kyuchi does have or Hitachino Nest does have a brew on premises operation, where you can go in and they help you choose the ingredients based on, some questions. They ask about what kind of beer do you like, and they'll help you choose the ingredients, and then you make the beer there, and you come back later to bottle the beer, and I think they help you make labels and that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting. Their beer production was quite successful, and in 2008 they established a new brewery simply for beer. And out in that area where that brewery is, they grow hops as well. Now, by the way, Kyuchi is located in Ibaraki Prefecture, up to the north of Tokyo. They have a regular lineup of around 15 beers. Some of their more famous ones are their Japanese classic ales, which they produce in a variety of different forms, and these are often aged in cedar casks, especially casks that have been used for making sake. And another point about them is that they have been appointed the contract brewer for Brooklyn Lager in Japan since 2009. So apparently the director of Brooklyn Brewery, Garrett Oliver, comes over periodically to check on how the beer is being made here in Japan. And they have established a brewery in Korea as well. So I think, step by step they have realized some very large plans, and they seem to be doing quite well. So the first beer we're going to look at today, well, we will look at that in a second, but in any case, if you know about Japanese craft beer and you're out from outside of Japan, you probably have heard of Kyuchi Brewery, and we are going to look at 6 different beers from them. All right, the first beer from Hitachino Nest we're going to look at is this one. It's called Session IPA. Kind of hard to read, but the label does have it here, Session IPA in Japanese and in English, in Romaji as well here. And this beer has only 18 ratings. It's a fairly new one for them, I think. And on RateBeer, it has only 18 ratings, an average score of 3.3. out of 5, and 52 percentile for all beers on RateBeer, and for its style, which would be Session IPA, a 44% rating. Again, this is out of 100. On Untappd, it has 427 ratings as of today, and an average score of 3.52 out of 5. Untappd ratings are, for some reason, always higher. Let's give this one a go, shall we? Session IPA. Not my favorite style by any means. Session IPAs often tend to be a little lacking in body, in flavor, in aroma, in everything. But let's check this one out and see how it is. Okay, it does have a typical kind of spritzy session nose, some very light sweet fruitiness, perhaps some overripe citrus fruit. Let's take a look at the appearance. It is a very clear kind of medium dark straw color. You can see through it completely. And how about the color here? Let's run it through the light. Okay, and carbonation is quite substantial. You can see from all parts of the glass rising up. Okay, and it has a kind of typical, well, not really typical. They make this with Amarillo hops. In fact, they tout that on the back of the can here. Brewed with Amarillo, and that's what I'm getting primarily out of this, is the kind of deep fruitiness of Amarillo hops, and yeah, it's kind of like a mild overripeness, like a kind of fruit that, if you don't eat it today, it's going to be inedible tomorrow. So give it a go. That's pleasant enough. Light maltiness. Yeah. Flattens out pretty quickly. Kind of tingly on the tongue. Sort of thin to medium body. A little bit heavy for a Session IPA, I think. 4.5%, so it's fitting in that range. Session IPAs can be a little bit lower, but they don't tend to edge up to 5%. So the alcohol may be a little bit high for that style, but it is pleasant, light, and fruity. I do like it more than most Session IPAs I have had. Okay, so once again, this is Kyuchi Brewery, Hitachino Nest Session IPA, Session IPA at 4.5%. Give it a go. You may find these in, for example, Seijo Ishii stores around Japan. So give it a try. And also Eon Mall liquor shops tend to have Hitachino Nest beers as well. Okay, that's it for today. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.